All right, let's get straight into the heat of what every Los Angeles Lakers fan is thinking right now, because Rui Hachimura has become the story you can't ignore. The guy is absolutely thriving this season, putting together the most efficient campaign of his career, hitting shots from everywhere, and showing that when he plays as the power forward, he really fits the team's scheme perfectly. The problem, though, is defense. He struggles against quicker, twitchier wings, and that becomes a real issue when the team needs to close out games. You can see in the way he struggles to keep up with players who constantly cut and change directions as if they're on a racetrack. That gap is noticeable, and the coaching staff has to consider it when setting lineups. Now, add the return of LeBron James into the mix, and things get even more complicated. When LeBron comes back, rotations inevitably shift because he commands that role automatically. That means Hachimura's minutes and positioning on the floor have to adjust, which brings up the big question. Is Rui willing to embrace a bench role for the greater good of the team? Right now, it's about figuring out how to balance his incredible production with the reality of having LeBron as the primary star. Ideally, you want Rui to buy in fully, because if he can accept coming off the bench while still maintaining his scoring efficiency, the Lakers could be in a position to dominate with depth like they haven't in years. Rui's numbers this season speak for themselves. In 13 games played and started, he's averaging nearly 35 minutes per night, taking 10 half-shot attempts, and shooting an impressive 57.7% from the field. From three-point range, on just 4 attempts per game, he's shooting 50%. His two-point field goals are at 62.4%, giving him an effective field goal percentage of 67.2%. Add in 73.3% from the free throw line, almost 4 rebounds, 1.5 assists, a steal, half a block, and 16 points per game, and you have a player having a literal career year. He's thriving heavily off the ball movement with LeBron, finding opportunities and capitalizing on them like never before. The challenge is translating that production into a 6-man role. Imagine Rui coming off the bench, playing 28 to 30 minutes instead of 35, but still producing 14 to 16 points per night. The efficiency is such that with slightly more offensive opportunities, particularly from beyond the arc, he could maintain or even increase his scoring numbers. If he gets, say, 7 3-point attempts a night and hits 50%, that's an additional 6 points right there, without even increasing minutes. That kind of flexibility would make him an incredible weapon off the bench, turning him into a potential candidate for 6th Man of the Year, simply because of the balance he brings, scoring, rebounding, defense, and efficiency. Yet, the situation isn't just about numbers, it's about psychology and buy-in. Rui has to fully embrace the idea that backing up LeBron James now positions him as the future starting power forward when LeBron eventually retires. That long-term vision is critical. If he accepts it, the Lakers could keep him at a reasonable salary, around $17 million, considering his production, and still make other moves to shore up the team, like upgrading the small forward position without disrupting his role. The challenge is whether Rui sees it the same way. After all, he's in the midst of a career year. He's putting up 16 points, shooting over 60% from the field, hitting half of his threes. From his perspective, it's easy to question why he wouldn't start every night. And that's the crux of the dilemma. If Rui resents the bench role or begins to disengage, his production could drop, forcing the Lakers into a corner where they might have to consider trading him. On the flip side, if he fully buys in, he becomes an integral part of the offense, contributing majorly in scoring, spacing, and defensive schemes as a 6th man. It's a delicate balance, and one that will define the team's immediate success as well as its post-LeBron era. His willingness to accept a shift in role, combined with smart management of minutes and offensive opportunities, could be the difference between the Lakers being contenders or simply an above-average team. Rui himself has said he doesn't mind whether he starts or comes off the bench, focusing more on minutes and the opportunity to close games. But the Lakers face a strategic challenge when it comes to closing lineups. Do you move LeBron to small forward late in games, which might not be ideal at this stage of his career? Or do you trust Rui to handle closing minutes at the 3? That's where the defensive limitations really come into play. He can hit the big shots, but can he stop elite wings in critical moments? Playing him sporadically at 3 is one thing. Trusting him to anchor closing defense while still contributing offensively is another. There will certainly be nights where it makes sense to close with Rui. If he's hitting threes at a hot clip, for example, or if the team needs his scoring to stay in a close game. But consistency and patience are key. The Lakers must weigh how much they can rely on him night after night, balancing his efficiency with the overall team's defensive needs. His attitude, mindset, and willingness to buy and will ultimately dictate whether he becomes a long-term cornerstone or a trade asset. Right now, it's a high-stakes balancing act that could define not only this season, but the trajectory of the Lakers in the post-LeBron era. Continuing from where we left off, the Lakers are really in a fascinating position with Rui Hachimura, because it's not just about the stats. Although his numbers are outstanding, it's about how his role meshes with the team's identity, both now and in the future. Think about it. He's averaging 16 points a night, shooting over 60% from the field, 50% from 3, and contributing nearly 4 rebounds and an assist and a half. Those are starter numbers. Those are production numbers that can carry a team if used strategically. Yet, with LeBron James and Anthony Davis commanding the floor as the central stars, there's an unavoidable need to shift roles to optimize the entire roster's performance. That's why the discussion about Rui potentially becoming a sixth man is so critical. It's not a demotion. It's a tactical move that could maximize the team's winning window while keeping him in a position to thrive offensively. If Rui buys into this plan, the Lakers could essentially have the perfect balance between star power and depth. You could close games with LeBron, Davis, and Rui on the floor without sacrificing offensive efficiency, while still mitigating some of Rui's defensive weaknesses by carefully choosing matchups and distributing minutes in a way that keeps the team strong in the fourth quarter. Imagine a scenario where Rui plays 28 to 30 minutes a night coming off the bench, but still managing to average 16 points, for rebounds, and a couple of assists while spacing the floor and hitting clutch shots. That's a recipe for a bench that changes the dynamics of the entire game. The Lakers would suddenly have a second unit that can score at an elite level while keeping opponents honest defensively, and Rui becomes the linchpin of that strategy. But the situation is nuanced. Rui's mindset will determine whether this transition is smooth or problematic. He's in a career year. He's proven himself as a starter, and he's showing efficiency that most players can only dream of. There's a psychological factor here. If he resents coming off the bench, if he feels like his production is undervalued, there's a real risk he could disengage. That could lead to a drop in output, which would force management into a difficult position. They might have to consider trading him, which would be unfortunate given his efficiency and fit with the team. On the other hand, if he buys in and understands the long-term vision, backing up LeBron now while positioning himself as the future starting power forward, the Lakers could keep him, maintain a competitive roster, and prepare for a smooth transition in the post-LeBron era. It's all about buy-in, communication, and trust between the player and the organization. Rui himself has stated that he doesn't mind whether he starts or comes off the bench, focusing instead on minutes and the opportunity to close games. That's promising, but translating intention into consistent performance is the real test. The Lakers' coaching staff has to carefully manage situations where he's closing games. Do you play him at 3 alongside LeBron and Davis in crunch time? Do you move LeBron to small forward? Each choice comes with trade-offs. Defensively, Rui has limitations when matched against elite wings late in games, so the team needs to carefully plan rotations, substitutions, and defensive assignments. Offensively, he can hit big shots, stretch the floor, and create space for LeBron and Davis. Balancing these elements is delicate, but if executed correctly, it could make the Lakers not just good, but elite. Another layer is the potential for other roster moves. Let's say the Lakers can upgrade their small forward position without sacrificing Rui's production. Adding a player who complements Rui, LeBron, and Davis would allow for more flexible rotations and open up opportunities for Rui to thrive without being forced into mismatches. This could also reduce pressure on him defensively, allowing him to focus more on efficient scoring and floor spacing. In that context, Rui becomes even more valuable, not just as a scorer, but as a strategic piece in the team's overall construction. His efficiency, willingness to adapt, and ability to contribute in multiple facets make him a cornerstone for both present success and future planning. But the reality is, nothing is guaranteed. Rui's buy-in is critical. His willingness to embrace a bench role, trust the coaching staff, and perform consistently will define whether the Lakers can maximize their championship window while planning for the post-LeBron era. There's also the contract consideration. If Rui agrees to his current contract, around $17 million, while maintaining efficiency and production, it's a win-win scenario. The Lakers retain a player in his prime who can contribute immediately and grow into the starting power forward role as the team transitions, all while maintaining cap flexibility to make other strategic moves. However, there's a fine line between opportunity and frustration. Rui must see the bigger picture and trust the process. If he focuses solely on starting status and immediate recognition, the Lakers risk losing a highly efficient player. If he buys in, the team could be positioned as one of the most balanced and efficient squads in basketball. We're talking about a scenario where the first unit can dominate with LeBron, Davis, and a complementary star, while the second unit maintains elite scoring with Rui leading the way. This depth is exactly what championship contending teams need, and it could allow the Lakers to remain competitive even when the stars rest or matchups demand adjustments. The closing game situations will be particularly interesting. Rui has the potential to take over late-game moments if he's hot from beyond the arc, hitting clutch threes, or driving for key baskets. But defensive trust remains a question mark. Can he reliably guard elite wings when the game is on the line? That's a pivotal issue, because closing games successfully requires both scoring and stopping the opponent. It's a delicate balance, and the Lakers need to manage it carefully. Nights when Rui is red hot, he could close and change the game's trajectory. Nights when defense is critical, rotations might require him to sit or shift positions. Ultimately, the Rui Hachimura situation is one of the most fascinating storylines for the Lakers right now. It's a combination of performance, potential, psychology, and strategy. How he responds to a bench role, how the coaching staff utilizes him, and how the team manages rotations and closing lineups will dictate not only this season, but also the team's trajectory in the years following LeBron's eventual retirement. The potential upside is enormous. A highly efficient, versatile scorer leading a second unit that can match or exceed starters in production, spacing, and impact. But the risk is equally real. If he disengages or fails to adapt, the Lakers could face tough choices that include trading him or reshaping the roster in ways that could disrupt chemistry. There are countless variables at play: his mindset, his willingness to adapt, the coaching strategy, roster construction, defensive matchups, and closing game rotations. Every decision will have ripple effects, not just for the current season, but for the post-LeBron era. Rui is in a unique position to influence the Lakers' success both immediately and long-term. His production off the bench could turn the second unit into a weapon, creating one of the most formidable rotations in basketball. But the team must carefully manage his minutes, offensive opportunities, and defensive responsibilities to ensure that efficiency and chemistry remain intact. The potential is there, but it requires trust, patience, and strategic execution across the board. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, in what could become one of the most shocking moves of the NBA season, whispers around the league are pointing to a seismic shift in the Western Conference. Devin Booker, the perennial scoring machine and undisputed star of the Phoenix Suns, is reportedly on the move, and all eyes are turning toward Los Angeles. Sources close to team circles suggest that the Lakers, long searching for a superstar to cement their championship aspirations, may have landed the perfect puzzle piece. The mere mention of Booker's name in Hollywood has sent tremors through social media, locker rooms, and sports talk shows alike. Lakers fans are already envisioning a new era where Booker's silky mid-range jumper and deadly three-point accuracy light up the Staples Center alongside the storied purple and gold. Insiders hint that discussions have been intensifying behind closed doors, fueling speculation about what a Booker-Lakers alliance could mean for the balance of power in the league. Could this finally be the pairing that pushes Los Angeles back to the summit of the NBA? Rumors swirl about potential trades and roster tweaks, though details remain tantalizingly vague. While Phoenix fans are reportedly grappling with the heartbreak of losing their offensive cornerstone, LA is in an outright frenzy, with local bars, fan forums, and online communities buzzing with excitement. Analysts are already debating how the Lakers' dynamics will shift, whether Booker will shoulder the scoring load, or how his presence will impact veteran stars already on the roster. This is more than just a player moving cities. It's a narrative shift that could redefine headlines for months. If the whispers hold any truth, the Lakers may have just scored a coup that reshapes not only their playoff chances, but also the entire landscape of the Western Conference. As always with blockbuster rumors, skepticism mingles with hope, but one thing is certain. The city of Los Angeles is electric, the chatter is unstoppable, and the basketball world is holding its breath, waiting to see if Devin Booker will indeed bring his superstar talents to the City of Angels. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.